Welcome back. Part 1 was all about railroad history. This time, even though we're still on the abandoned railroad grade, it's hard to tell there was ever a railroad there. We're headed into Blackwater Canyon, and we'll show you how to get to see the famous Douglas Falls, even though we didn't quite get to see it ourselves. More about that later. In Coketon itself, there's a historical marker about that famous civil rights case involving an African-American schoolteacher and the first African-American lawyer in West Virginia history that we covered in a video that we published last November, and you can check it out at the link in the description. Now this is the road that we walked on yesterday back to the coke ovens. It ends at a parking area at the entrance to the canyon a few hundred yards farther along. It's the next day from our walk to the coke ovens, and we're continuing down now farther downstream to Douglas Falls. And here we are, this beautiful scenic canyon, and there's a frickin' water bottle out in the middle of the rocks. Unbelievable. Oh, it was worth coming out here for this, to pick up the bottle. Beautiful view up the river. Downstream. Looking downstream. Beautiful out here. Okay. I tossed it up there and it bounced across the road into the ditch. Okay, I gotta walk back up this. There's my steps. Gonna walk back up the steps and up that path up there. Down there's the river. Big falls back there. It's really hard to get good footage though. But boy, oh boy, look at the canopy coming through here. This rock cut railroad is just a shelf on the side of the gorge. And there's the rapids, the falls. We're walking down toward Douglas Falls. Well, we've hiked below the falls. We've just decided on the map that we've gone past the falls without being able to really see it because of all of the thick, verdant forest on the side of the gorge between the railroad bed and the steep embankment down into the gorge. It is a beautiful forest, not quite primeval. I think this might be a trail down to the base of the falls. I don't think we're gonna risk it. I want to get down there and have trouble getting back up. Strenuous. Okay, so here we are, having walked down past this point and not found the way to get to the falls. We realized on the way back that there is a steep, I would say semi-advanced steep trail, not to be done without walking sticks and proper ankle-supported hiking shoes. Not these. And it's marked, its landmark is the stubs of 2 old rotten railroad ties and some mossy colored logs, and then off in the woods you can see a little orange tape here and there's another one, and the trail is blazed by those little orange lumbering tapes down to the foot. We didn't get all the way down. We stopped, as you'll see, about 15 feet above the stream, where it was just a little bit too hazardous, or a lot too hazardous for our advanced age knees and feet. So anyway, that looks like the trail down to the foot of the falls. Back up the way we came, although not quite as fast. Follow the orange blazes. Here's another opportunity for immortality. Down into the gorge. Woohoo! This almost looks like an old rainforest cedar, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Like it's been washed.
All the moss on it and everything else. Rhododendron. Tree tunnel. Here's that tree tunnel. Wow. Just to prove what a couple of numpties we are, here at the end of the driving road, we walk right past this trail. It looks pretty steep, but I don't know if it's as steep as the one we went down. I'm going to walk down here, I'm just going to walk down. Oh, they've got a rope. So here's the approved descent to the foot of the spectacular falls. It's not nearly as far as the one we went down, but we've had our fun. If you come here, here's the gate, there's the trail. There's an easy walking trail that comes down to that, comes down in from the right. And then the steps with the rope that you can pull yourself up down into the water. Once you get down there though, it's pretty bouldery actually. And you can see the kids, the younger people I should say, scampering like mountain goats over the wet rocks. I think we'll take a pass. Before we head back to the campground, we want to take you to a little known but very important historical site in the colonial history of America. It's called the Fairfax Stone, and it's in a little state park off of US 219, not too far north of Thomas. We're at the Fairfax Stone, the source of the Potomac River, an old marking stone that's been vandalized over many years. And here is the Fairfax Stone, covering the spring, which looks like it might be a little dry this time of year. Of course, we are at a very high elevation in the Alleghenies. Fairfax Stone, this monument at the head spring of the Potomac River, marks one of the historic spots of America. Its name derived from Thomas Lord Fairfax, who owned all the land lying between the Potomac and the Rappahannock. First Fairfax Stone marked FX was set in 1746 by Thomas Lewis, and surveyor employed by Lord Fairfax. This says Thomas Lewis, but George Washington was employed by Lord Fairfax as well. I thought George Washington discovered this spot. Well, so much for a legend. There's a little pool here. This is the source of the Potomac River. There it goes, on down into the North Fork. Not very many people know about this place. 1910. Fairfax Stone. Heading back to Parsons, we pulled over to take in the panoramic view from the Fred Long Centennial Park at the summit of Backbone Mountain. The State Highway Department named it in 2006 as requested by the state legislature to honor a former sheriff who later served as the county highway superintendent when the park was created in the 1950s. Pretty cool. That's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed this video and will take time to watch some of our other ones. Goodbye.